You wake up before the world does. Not because someone told you to. Not because it looks impressive on social media. But because deep down you understand something most people ignore. Success is built in silence. Highly successful people don't always move loudly. They don't always announce their goals. They don't constantly prove themselves to the world. Instead, they build habits quietly, habits so powerful that over time they completely transform their lives. Most people think success is about big moments, the promotion, the business launch, the viral video, the $1 million deal. But the truth is much simpler and much quieter. Success is built in the small things no one sees. It's built in the mornings when you wake up and choose discipline over comfort. It's built in the evenings when you keep working while others are scrolling endlessly on their phones. It's built in the quiet decisions you make when no one is watching. The first silent habit of highly successful people is intentional mornings. Successful people don't start their day reacting to the world. They don't wake up and immediately check notifications, emails, or social media. They start their day with purpose. When you wake up and instantly look at your phone, your brain becomes reactive. You start your day responding to everyone else's priorities. But when successful people wake up, they protect the first moments of their day. Some exercise, some meditate, some read, some plan their goals. But the key is this: they start their day by investing in themselves. Those quiet morning minutes might look small, but over time they build mental strength, clarity, and focus. While the world is still sleeping, successful people are already building momentum. Another silent habit is deep focus. In a world filled with constant distractions, the ability to focus has become a superpower. Most people try to do everything at once. They check messages while working. They scroll social media while watching videos. Their attention is scattered everywhere. But highly successful people train their minds to focus deeply on one thing at a time. They eliminate distractions. They create environments where concentration becomes possible. They understand that real progress happens when your mind is fully present. Think about it. 1 hour of deep focus can accomplish more than an entire day of distracted work. That's why many successful entrepreneurs, creators, and leaders schedule time where they work with zero interruptions, no notifications, no multitasking, just pure concentration. This habit may not look exciting, but it creates extraordinary results over time. Another silent habit is learning continuously. Successful people never believe they know everything. They treat life like a classroom, while others spend hours consuming entertainment. Successful people dedicate time to learning. They read books. They listen to podcasts. They study new skills. They learn from mentors and from their own mistakes. But what makes this habit powerful is consistency. They don't learn once in a while. They learn every day. 10 pages of reading each day might not seem life-changing, but over a year, that becomes thousands of pages of knowledge. Imagine the difference between someone who reads 10 books a year and someone who reads none. One person grows. The other stays the same. Success is not about sudden transformation. It's about steady improvement. Another quiet habit successful people develop is emotional control. Life will challenge you. There will be criticism, failures, delays, unexpected problems. Most people react emotionally. They panic. They get frustrated. They give up too early. But highly successful people train themselves to respond instead of react. They understand that emotions are temporary, but decisions have lasting consequences. When something goes wrong, they pause, they think, they analyze the situation before acting. This calm mindset allows them to solve problems instead of becoming overwhelmed by them. And over time, this emotional discipline becomes one of their greatest strengths. Another silent habit is keeping promises to themselves. Most people break promises to themselves every day. They say they'll wake up early, but they hit snooze. They say they'll start exercising, but they delay it. They say they'll work on their dreams, but they choose comfort instead. Every broken promise weakens your self-trust. But successful people understand something powerful. Confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from self-trust. And self-trust is built by keeping the small promises you make to yourself. If you say you'll wake up at 6 a.m., you wake up at 6 a.m. If you say you'll work for 1 hour, you work for 1 hour. These actions may look small, but they build a powerful internal belief. I do what I say I will do. Over time, this belief transforms how you see yourself. Another silent habit successful people practice is protecting their environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, distractions, and people who don't respect your goals, it becomes incredibly difficult to grow. Successful people are very intentional about the environments they create. They organize their workspace. They limit negative influences. They spend time with people who challenge them to improve. They also protect their mental environment. They are careful about what they watch, what they listen to, and what they allow into their minds, because they know that thoughts become actions, and actions become results. And finally, one of the most powerful silent habits of successful people is patience. In today's world, everyone wants instant results. People start a business and expect success in months. They start a YouTube channel and expect millions of views immediately. They start a fitness journey and expect transformation in weeks. But success rarely happens that way. Highly successful people understand that real progress takes time. They focus on the process, not just the outcome. They show up day after day, even when results are slow. They keep working when others quit. They stay consistent when motivation disappears. And this patience gives them an enormous advantage, because most people give up too soon. The truth is, success is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet moments, the early mornings, the focused hours, the disciplined choices, the habits that no one sees. And when you stack these silent habits day after day, week after week, year after year, something incredible begins to happen. Your mindset changes, your confidence grows, your skills improve, your opportunities expand. And one day, people will look at your life and call it success. But they will never see the silent habits that built it. What most people don't realize is that success rarely announces itself in the beginning. It grows quietly through habits that look ordinary from the outside, but are powerful on the inside. Highly successful people understand this truth. They know that greatness is not built through occasional bursts of motivation, but through consistent behaviors repeated every single day. One of the most powerful silent habits they practice is spending time alone with their thoughts. In today's world, people are constantly surrounded by noise, notifications, social media, endless entertainment, and the pressure to always stay busy make it difficult for most people to sit quietly and think. But successful people understand that clarity comes from silence. They create moments where they disconnect from the noise of the world and reconnect with their own mind. Sometimes this happens during a walk, sometimes through journaling, and sometimes simply by sitting in silence. This habit may seem simple, but it has a powerful effect. When you spend time alone with your thoughts, you begin to understand your goals more clearly. You reflect on your progress. You identify mistakes and discover better ways to move forward. While others are constantly distracted, successful people are constantly thinking, planning, and adjusting their direction. Another silent habit that separates successful people from others is their relationship with discomfort. Most people avoid discomfort whenever possible. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid challenging tasks. They avoid situations that make them feel uncertain or afraid. But highly successful people see discomfort differently. They see it as a sign of growth. Every time you push yourself to do something difficult, your mind becomes stronger. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your capabilities expand. Successful people don't wait until they feel ready. They understand that growth often begins when you feel unprepared. They take the risk. They make the call. They start the project. They show up even when confidence is low. And over time, this willingness to face discomfort builds extraordinary courage. Another quiet habit successful people develop is protecting their energy. Most people focus only on managing their time, but highly successful individuals understand that energy is just as important. You can have many hours in a day, but if your energy is low, your productivity will suffer. Successful people pay attention to the things that increase their energy and the things that drain it. They take care of their health. They rest when necessary. They create boundaries with people who constantly bring negativity into their lives. They avoid unnecessary drama and distractions that steal their mental focus. They treat their energy like a valuable resource, because when their energy is high, their performance improves. Another silent habit of highly successful people is discipline during boring moments. Many people believe success requires excitement and constant motivation. But the truth is that much of success is built during ordinary and sometimes boring moments. It's the repetition of simple tasks, practicing a skill again and again, showing up even when it feels routine. Successful people don't rely on motivation during these moments. They rely on discipline. They understand that mastery comes from repetition. An athlete becomes great by practicing the same movements thousands of times. A writer improves by writing every day. An entrepreneur grows by solving problems daily. These actions may seem repetitive, but every repetition strengthens a foundation of success. Another powerful habit successful people practice is controlling their attention. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you have. Where you place your attention determines what grows in your life. If you constantly focus on negativity, problems, and comparisons with others, your mindset becomes weaker. But successful people intentionally focus their attention on progress, solutions, and opportunities. When challenges appear, they ask themselves powerful questions. What can I learn from this? How can I improve? What's the next step forward? Instead of wasting energy complaining about problems, they invest their attention in solving them. Another silent habit is the way successful people handle failure. Most people fear failure so much that they avoid trying altogether. They see failure as something embarrassing or permanent. But highly successful people see failure differently. They see it as feedback. Every mistake becomes information. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes a step closer to improvement. Think about it. Almost every successful person faced repeated failures before achieving success. What made them different was their ability to keep going. They didn't allow failure to define them. Instead, they allowed failure to teach them. And perhaps the quietest but most powerful habit of all is consistency. Successful people do not rely on occasional bursts of effort. They show up again and again. They work when they feel motivated. They work when they feel tired. They keep going even when progress feels slow. This consistency compounds over time in ways most people underestimate. Small daily actions become big results. Tiny improvements become massive transformation. And one day, what looked like slow progress suddenly becomes undeniable success. There comes a point in every journey where motivation fades and reality takes over. This is a stage where most people slow down, become distracted, or completely give up. But highly successful people understand something powerful. Success is not about feeling inspired every day. It is about continuing the work even when the excitement disappears. One of the quiet habits that keeps successful people moving forward is self-discipline. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think discipline means forcing yourself to work harder than everyone else. But true discipline is something deeper. It is the ability to stay committed to your goals, even when your emotions try to convince you otherwise. Successful people don't wait to feel ready. They don't depend on perfect conditions. They act because they made a decision. There will be days when your energy is low. There will be days when progress feels invisible. But discipline allows you to show up anyway. This habit alone separates dreamers from achievers. Another silent habit highly successful people develop is the ability to ignore unnecessary opinions. In today's world, everyone has something to say. Friends, strangers, social media comments, critics, and even people who have never attempted what you're trying to build will often share their opinions. Most people allow these opinions to shape their decisions. They become afraid of judgment. They slow down because they worry about what others might think. But successful people understand that if you try to please everyone, you will lose your own direction. They listen to advice from people they respect and trust, but they do not allow random voices to control their path. They stay focused on their mission. They understand that criticism is often a sign that you are doing something meaningful. When you begin to move differently, people notice. Some will support you. Others will question you. Successful people learn to keep moving anyway. Another silent habit that plays a huge role in long-term success is the habit of taking responsibility. It is very easy to blame circumstances. It is easy to blame the economy, your background, your environment, or the mistakes of others. But highly successful people refuse to live with that mindset. They take ownership of their situation. Even when something is not entirely their fault, they ask themselves a powerful question: what can I do to improve the situation? This mindset gives them control. When you stop blaming everything around you, you gain the power to change your direction. Responsibility transforms problems into opportunities for growth. Another habit successful people quietly practice is setting clear priorities. Many people stay busy all day, but still feel like they are not moving forward. The reason is simple: not all tasks are equally important. Highly successful people focus their energy on the actions that produce the greatest results. Instead of trying to do everything, they concentrate on the few things that truly matter. They understand that progress often comes from focused effort rather than scattered activity. While others are overwhelmed by long to-do lists, successful people simplify their focus. They ask themselves, what is the most important thing I should be working on right now? And then they give that task their full attention. Another powerful silent habit is the willingness to delay gratification. Most people want rewards immediately. They want success quickly, recognition instantly, and results as soon as possible. But highly successful individuals think differently. They are willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term success. They are willing to spend evenings learning while others are relaxing. They are willing to invest time building skills while others are chasing quick entertainment. They understand that success often requires patience. Every hour invested today becomes an advantage tomorrow. Another habit that quietly shapes the lives of successful people is reflection. At the end of the day, many successful individuals take time to evaluate their actions. They ask themselves simple but powerful questions. What did I do well today? Where could I improve? What lesson did today teach me? This habit of reflection allows them to learn faster than most people. Instead of repeating the same mistakes, they continuously adjust their approach. Small improvements begin to accumulate. Day by day, week by week, their mindset becomes sharper and their strategies become stronger. Another silent habit is protecting their vision. When you start chasing a big goal, the path will not always be clear. There will be uncertainty, slow progress, and moments of doubt. Successful people understand that doubt is part of the journey. But instead of allowing doubt to destroy their vision, they protect it. They remind themselves why they started. They revisit their goals. They reconnect with their purpose. Even when results are slow, they continue believing in the process. This belief becomes a powerful driving force. And over time, something incredible begins to happen. The habits they repeat daily begin to shape their identity. They no longer see themselves as someone who is trying to succeed. They begin to see themselves as someone who is disciplined, someone who is focused, someone who is committed to growth. This shift in identity is extremely powerful because once your habits become part of who you are, success stops feeling like a struggle. It becomes a natural result of the person you have become. And this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly, through the habits no one sees, through the disciplined practice when nobody is watching, through the decisions made in silence. And step by step, these silent habits begin building a life that most people only dream about. Success is often misunderstood by the outside world. When people finally see someone achieving great things, they usually notice the results, the achievements, the recognition, the success story. But what they rarely see are the years of quiet effort, the disciplined practice in private, and the habits built when no one was paying attention. Highly successful people understand that the final results are only the visible part of a much deeper process. Beneath every achievement lies a foundation of silent habits that shaped their character long before success arrived. One of the most powerful habits they develop is resilience. Life never moves in a perfectly straight line. Even the most successful individuals face setbacks, criticism, unexpected problems, and moments where things simply don't go as planned. The difference is how they respond to these moments. Most people see obstacles as signs to stop. They take failure personally and begin to doubt their abilities. But successful people see obstacles as temporary. They understand that every challenge carries a lesson. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This mindset allows them to recover faster from difficulties. They don't stay stuck in frustration for long. They learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. Another silent habit that shapes successful people is their commitment to personal growth. They never believe they have reached the final version of themselves. No matter how much progress they make, they continue improving their mindset, their knowledge, and their skills. They understand that growth is a lifelong journey. They invest in learning new things. They develop new abilities. They challenge their old habits and replace them with better ones. This constant commitment to growth keeps them evolving, while many others remain in the same place year after year. Another powerful habit is building strong self-belief. Self-belief does not come from waiting for others to approve of you. It grows through action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. Every time you face something difficult and overcome it, you begin to trust your own ability. Highly successful people understand this principle. They do not wait for confidence before taking action. They take action first, and confidence grows as a result. This is why they continue moving forward even when others doubt them. They trust the work they're doing. They trust the habits they have built. And most importantly, they trust themselves. Another silent habit successful people practice is staying focused on their own path. In the modern world, comparison has become one of the biggest distractions. Social media constantly shows the highlights of other people's lives, making it easy to feel like you're falling behind. But successful people know that comparison steals focus. They understand that every person's journey moves at a different pace. Instead of comparing themselves to others, they focus on becoming better than they were yesterday. They measure progress against their own potential, not someone else's timeline. This mindset allows them to stay focused, motivated, and emotionally balanced. Another habit that quietly strengthens successful people is persistence. Many people start strong when they feel motivated, but as soon as progress slows down, their enthusiasm fades. Successful people expect slow progress. They understand that meaningful achievements take time. They are willing to keep going when results are not immediate. They continue working when others lose patience. They continue learning when others feel discouraged. This persistence becomes their greatest advantage, because while most people quit too early, successful individuals keep moving forward. And eventually, time begins to reward their consistency. Another important silent habit is maintaining humility. Even after achieving success, many highly successful people remain grounded. They understand that success is not a reason to stop learning or improving. Humility keeps their mindset open. It allows them to accept feedback, learn from others, and stay connected to reality. Instead of becoming comfortable, they stay curious. Instead of believing they know everything, they continue asking questions. This humility allows them to keep growing even after reaching levels of success that others only dream about. Finally, one of the most important silent habits is understanding the power of daily choices. Your life is shaped by the small decisions you make every day. The choice to wake up early, the choice to work on your goals, the choice to learn something new, the choice to stay disciplined when distractions appear. Each decision may seem small in the moment, but over time, these choices create powerful momentum. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. And slowly, the life you once imagined begins to take shape. This is the true secret behind highly successful people. There is no magic formula, no overnight transformation, no single moment that changes everything. Instead, success grows quietly through habits repeated in silence. Habits that build discipline. Habits that strengthen the mind. Habits that push you forward when motivation disappears. And if you begin practicing these habits today, something powerful will begin to change. Your mindset will become stronger. Your focus will become clearer. Your confidence will grow. And one day, people will look at your life and call it success. But you will know the truth. It was never about one big moment. It was always about the silent habits you built every single day.